Hi guys, it's Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today's video is going to be a very different video, not my usual video, but I've been inspired by Alex. She has been doing a no project pan year for her channel, and she's kind of getting to know her collection a little bit. And she has this series, I don't know if it's an actual series, but she's been posting videos about like how she's been organically decluttering her collection, like getting to know her collection, knowing what she wants, what she doesn't want, without being forced to use the products from like we do in project planning, you know what I mean? So she's been getting rid of some stuff, and you guys know that I don't really do declutters in this channel. I just try to use up what I have. And the few times that I have decluttered, I have just given stuff away. I just because I'm too lazy, honestly, if I'm being 100% transparent, I'm too lazy to set up anything to sell and get some of my money back. However, you guys know that I am running the Chicago Marathon and I am raising funds for the Imerman Angels. So I decided to do a declutter and sell some of this stuff on Poshmark, just to raise funds for them to go, for the funds to go to a great organization, which is the Imerman Angels. So I will be setting up Poshmark. If you guys are interested in any of these items, head over to my Poshmark. I'm not trying to make any money back. I just want to make some money so I can send it towards my fundraiser that I have going on. Like I said, I don't really care to make any of my money back. I've already spent it. But these are items that I know I can be without. They don't spark the same joy that they once did once I purchased them. And I figured somebody out there in the world might want to use them and get some enjoyment out of them. So most of these are eyeshadow palettes. I have a few face palettes, and then I have some non-makeup stuff that I'm going to share with at the end in case you're not interested for that. So the first thing that I'm going to start with are my face palettes. I have here first from NARS, the, oh gosh, is this French? The Board de Plague highlighting and bronzing palette. This is what this guy looks like. It has 4 highlighters and 2 bronzers, and these are brand new. They are untouched. As you guys can see, it still has a little plastic here. I'll get it closer so you guys can see that these are not touched whatsoever. They're brand new. 4 highlighters, 2 bronzers. This is one of the ones that, this is probably the only product here that I'm like, oh, I don't want to get rid of it because it's so pretty. But I know that whoever gets this palette, and if nothing sells here, then it is what it is. But you know, if things do sell, I'm excited for this to go to a nice loving home. Then I have from Bobbi Brown, this is the Bobbi to Glow Shimmer Brick Palette. You get 3 Shimmer Brick palettes in here. These are only swatched, but they are not used. Everything has been sanitized, not decontaminated, but yeah, I guess sanitized, yeah. So you get a highlighter, a bronzer, and a blush type product. That's what these look like. These are 5 grams a piece. The net weight of this is 15 grams. So they're very generous sized products. So that's this one from Bobbi Brown. Then I have a blush palette from Becca. This is a Blush with Light Blush Trio palette. And it's this one right here. It comes with, I think it's 3 blushes. Again, this one has only been swatched, but it hasn't been used. So very, very pretty colors. Snapdragon, Songbird, and Wisteria, if I'm reading these correctly, but that's what these look like. And then the other one is kind of like a face / eyeshadow palette, and it's from Urban Decay. I'm talking about the Back Talk palette. It comes with some, it's still in its box, let me take it out. It comes with a little mirror in the middle, and then I'll take out the mirror first because I don't want to blind you guys. Ugh. That's what the mirror looks like. Right here you can see it, mirror on both sides. And then it comes with a row of 3 blushes and a highlighter and some eyeshadows here on the bottom. So this hasn't even been swatched. This is brand new. Probably second saddest thing I'm getting rid of. So, but I know that, you know, whatever comes from this declutter is going to go towards a good cause. So that's that. And the next are just eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to try to do the ones that don't have boxes, just so I can go through them as fast as I could because I don't want this video to be super long. The first thing that I have here are a couple palettes from Kat Von D. The first one being the Serpentina palette. This one comes with, oh gosh, these are the shades. This one is gently used, I will admit, but it comes with a pigment and then these other shades right here. They're just shades that I'm not really gonna be using. I thought about using this palette and I was like, okay, if I use this palette, I'm only gonna use these three right here and maybe the orange one, and then the other shades I won't use at all. And I'm like, that's like throwing away half the palette. So I figured I would just get rid of it and somebody else might enjoy it, and I can easily get these 4 shades in another palette that I have. So that's this one. Then I have, excuse me, another Kat Von D palette. This is the 10-year anniversary eyeshadow palette from Kat Von D before the brand went to KVD Vegan Beauty. But like I said, this is a 10-year anniversary palette. At some point in my makeup collection, I was like buying every single palette she released. But this is such a beautiful palette, you guys. Again, very colorful shades. I would only use a few of the shades here. This hasn't even been swatched. This is completely brand new. And these shades are gorgeous. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh God, now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, maybe I wondered. But I know I've got to make some sacrifices in order to be successful for this fundraiser that I'm doing. And so it is what it is. Somebody will have a nice home for that. Then what else doesn't have a packaging? This one from Urban Decay. This is the Urban Spectrum eyeshadow palette. It looks like this. And these are the shadows in here. Very kind of dark shades, if I'm being honest. Just shades that I'm not into right now. And yeah, somebody will likely get some good use out of this. Some of these shades are gently swatched. Some other ones haven't been touched whatsoever. But I think this one comes with a mirror on the other side. But I think this would be a good one. Oh gosh, Rufus is streaming and he's doing that twitching thing, and that looks scary. What else doesn't have a box? Oh yes, the ABH Subculture palette. Now this is not the first edition, the one that everybody hated. This was like the reformulated edition that was working better. But again, this is brand new. I haven't touched it. It still has its dual-ended brush. And I just bought it because I was in a mood to collect like all the eyeshadows palettes from ABH. But I'm not in that mood anymore. So this one is so pretty. The colors are so pretty. And like I said, this is the reformulation. So the eyeshadows should be working a lot better. What else does not have a box? I think that's everything. Everything else does come in a box, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to get through. So since we're on the topic of ABH, I have the Norvina palette. This still in its box, and I don't know if this has been discontinued, but that's what this one looks like. Also comes with a dual-ended brush, and look at those shades, you guys. Those are beautiful shades. I think they're gorgeous. Somebody is gonna definitely be enjoying these palettes, these eyeshadows and the brush. So yeah, somebody's definitely gonna be enjoying the heck out of this palette. Another ABH palette that I'm getting rid of is the Anastasia Prism palette. Also came in its box. And the reason why I bought this shade, to be completely honest, was because of this lime green shade. I don't know why. At that time when I purchased it, I was like, this is such a cool shade. I need it in my life. But I never used the palette because I'm always like panning something else, and I'm like, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. And I never got to it. And now it's time for this to go to a new home. Again, totally unswatched, clean, dual-ended eyeshadow brush on top. And it's still in its box. So I am super excited for someone to get to love this palette as much as I intended to love it when I first got it. But you guys know me, I'm like a dedicated panner. Once I start using some eyeshadow palette for a pan that palette, I don't touch anything else. Let's see, what else? From ABH, I think that's it from ABH. I have another palette from Kat Von D. Now this is actually from KVD Vegan Beauty. I think this was the first palette that they came out with after they switched names. But this is, what is this called? The Edge of Reality eyeshadow palette. And this doesn't have a mirror, but this is what the shadows look like. Super pretty shades right here with the glitters, and then some mattes here, some shimmers and glittery shades on this side. unswatched, still brand new. It has a little plastic sheath here to protect the shades. And this is a very sustainable palette because the whole packaging is cardboard. So it's supposed to be like more, again, sustainable palette because you can recycle it after you're done using it. So that's that one. Then I have one from Kylie Jenner. This one is the pressed powder palette from Kylie Jenner. Is that what it's called? Sipping Pretty? I think that's what it's called. It's still in its back, and it's Sipping Pretty. It's still in its box. And at one point, I was really into like pink shades and anything like berry. And that's why this palette looks so intriguing to me at first because of all the berry colors. You have some shimmers, you have some definitely mattes, nudes over here. Very easy, I think, color palette that you could do neutrals plus like pops of color. Very, very pretty palette. Again, totally unused and unswatched. So hopefully that finds a good home. Then I have an Urban Decay palette that comes in this kind of a bag. This is a Vice palette number 4, I believe. Now, the funny thing is that I used to own this palette and I decluttered it. I gave it away, and then like a couple years later, somebody gifted me this again. And it's like, oh my gosh, it made its way back into my life. It's meant to be. But no, I think I'm okay. I gave it away once for a reason. These colors don't really speak to me. It has a dual-ended brush. This is untouched, unswatched, and it's time for somebody to love it. I feel like you guys know Urban Decay is like my favorite brand of all times in regards to makeup, but I have so many eyeshadows from them and so many palettes that some of these gotta go. And this one already went once and it came back to me somehow, but it's time for it to go away again. Another thing from Urban Decay is this eyeshadow palette, Wild Greens. And this is another green eyeshadow palette. It opens like in the center like this. And this is what it looks like. It has a ton of different shades of green, but then it has neutral shades on the bottom so that you can create a natural look, kind of natural look. You got some mattes, some shimmers, neutrals, like I said, but mostly greens because this is a green palette. So it's a vegan formula. It comes still in its box. I'm sure somebody out there will enjoy using this. Then I have, very sad, the Born to Run palette. This was super popular way back in the day, and I bought it with an intention to use it. I just love this was mainly a packaging purchase because I love the pictures from all over the world on the packaging, but I never got to use it, you guys. Still brand new, untouched. You get your colors, your shimmers, your satins, your matte colors. Definitely can make some beautiful looks out of this, but I know somebody will find, I'm saying this for every single palette, I know somebody will find a good home and get some good use out of it. I thought I had another Urban Decay palette somewhere. Oh yes, I have 2 more. I have this one from the Marvel Eternals collection. This is a big eyeshadow palette. They used to do these a lot way back in the day. This came out in 2020, 2021 when the movie came out. And you have like the little design here from the movie. And then you have to open up the little thing here so you can get to the eyeshadow. So it's a lot of packaging. If you don't like packaging, this might be annoying for you. But look at these shades. Very pretty, very similar, I feel like, to the Born This Way palette. Just a lot less shadows. But yeah, very neutral with just a couple pops of color with the blue and the green. But everything else, I feel like it's very wearable, very easy to wear. So if you don't mind a lot of packaging, or if you're a collector just for like Marvel stuff, this would be a great one to get. Speaking of Marvel, I'm getting rid of this little one from She-Hulk, also from Urban Decay. If you guys remember, I purchased the big one that I did for Panda palette 2 years ago, I think is when I used it. And then I bought this little one. But when I got the first order, both palettes had eyeshadows shattered in them. So they sent me replacements for both of them. The replacement for the big one I gave to my sister, And then I'm keeping the broken of this one, and I'm trying to sell this one. Very pretty shades, 6 eyeshadow shades, 3 shimmers, 3 mattes, and also a very nude neutral color, I feel like. This is called, does it have a special name? It's just, no, I guess it's just the 6 shadow pan as opposed to the 15 eyeshadow pan, I think the other one was. So yeah, again, if you're a marble fiend like I am, or it used to be, not anymore, I feel like it's lost its touch. But anyway, if you're into marble collecting stuff, I have 2 marble eyeshadows from Urban Decay, which I said I love. It's just time for them to go to another home. I have something from Too Faced, the chocolate gold palette. This palette, you guys, still, I just opened it just to see what it looked like, and it still smells like chocolate. It's like delicious. Oh, it smells so good. This is more of a shimmery shade. You get only like 3, I think these 3 shades are the only 3 matte shades, but everything else is shimmery, or yeah, not glittery, but yeah, shimmery or satiny. But it smells delicious. Oh, it smells like chocolate. I just want to eat it. So somebody, I'm sure, will enjoy this. Then I have from Too Faced the White Peach eyeshadow palette. I believe there's 12 shades in here, and this is very pretty. Very neutral, very light colors, with the exception of these 2. Everything else is pretty light and very neutral and wearable. I think somebody will definitely enjoy this. This is another palette that is brand new, untouched, and it's ready to get used and have some love shown to it. If you can hear Ruthless snoring, I am so sorry. Then I have a couple of Huda Beauty palettes. They're the 9 shadow pans, like the little ones. This is the Topaz Obsessions. And again, brand new, not even swatched. That's what this looks like. And then the other one is the Coral Obsessions. Also a 9 shadow pan. It's this one right here. I don't want to dig a nail in there. So this is the Coral Obsessions. And then this one is the Topaz Obsessions. I don't think they make these anymore. I know she kind of took a break from making these, and she was doing like her big eyeshadow palettes, and I think now she stopped doing the big ones, and she's gonna go back to doing these. But anyway, these are the 2 that I have. They were super popular at one point, and I got them because, you know, my intention is always to buy stuff to use it, but the project panner in me has a hard time rotating through whatever is not in a project pan, which is how I end up accumulating stuff like this. So anyway, those are these 2. Then I have one from like smaller brands. I have from Violet Voss, the Disco Drip. Now this was gifted to me not too long ago. I told you guys one of the anesthesiologists that I work with, she gave it to me because she didn't think she would use it. And she thought of me when she saw these colors. They're very pretty colors. But I would be okay with getting this one out of my collection. There's a lot of shimmer. There's only 1 matte shade. And I have these shades a million times over in my collection. So I will be okay with getting rid of this one. Then, like I said, I have a few more that are kind of like lower end from BH Cosmetics. I have the Royal Affair palette. This has 20 eyeshadows. And this is brand new. Never been used, never been swatched. That's what this guy looks like. Very pretty shades. Kind of more on the deserty looking shades, like with the taupes and the browns and the greens and the bronzy shades. Just a few pops of color over here, but other than that, this is a very muted palette, and I would be okay with letting go of this one. And then I have another one from BH Cosmetics, the Weekend Festival eyeshadow palette. This was something that was super popular way back in the day, and I got it, never used it. It has a ton of colorful eyeshadows, and like I said, I'm kind of moving away from super colorful eyeshadows. I don't really wear colorful eyeshadows. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older now and such colorful eyeshadows don't like draw my attention. If I want a colorful eyeshadow, I have plenty of other palettes that I can go to create a colorful look. But I'm sure somebody's gonna love having this in their collection. So combination of satins, shimmers, matte colors. This is gonna be very, very pretty. So again, like I said, this was super popular way back in the day. Maybe somebody's looking to get their hands on it. They missed out way back when, and they'll be able to get it. Then from Juvia's Place, this is the Saharan by Juvia's. I'm not gonna lie, this came for free as with an Ulta gift with purchase. So I didn't pay anything for it, but this is brand new, haven't been used, hasn't been swatched, and I know people love Juvia's palettes, so hopefully I can get something out of this palette if anybody wants it. Like I said, I didn't pay for it, but so I'm not expecting for people to pay a lot of money for this, but you know, I'm sure somebody out there would want to have this palette. I have 4 palettes that are pretty big, and they're like the biggest palettes that I have here. First one being the ABH Norbina collection. This is Pro Pigment palette number 3, and I am going to be getting rid of this one. I thought about just using up a couple of shades from this palette, but that's a lot of eyeshadows, you guys. Very colorful, lots of greens and pinks. The only colors that I would be interested in are these 3 shades and then a few of the matte browns. But other than that, nothing else I don't foresee myself using here. I am currently trying to pan the little one, the little blue, navy blue and white packaging one, which is the mini something, one of the mini Norbinas. And because they're pigments, it takes a long time, like, for you to go through that stuff because they're so pigmented. So hopefully somebody will be interested in that. Then I have the Kat Von D Metal Matte Palette. This is still in its box. And the last time I did a makeup inventory collection, I didn't do one last year, but the year before that, I did mention that this is one of those palettes that I kind of regretted buying because just the color story here, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm just not interested in it. This is brand new, hasn't been swatched. Maybe I swatched this one, but other than that, I haven't used this at all. I did purchase the mini one that has more like bronzy golden berry tones, which that is much more up my alley than this one. So I would be okay with keeping that one and letting this one go. So yeah, this is one of those things that I bought kind of like for a collector's type thing. The time that I wanted to collect everything and anything from Kat Von D. But again, this is just not up my alley anymore. That's a lot of shades. It's 22 shades, like it's a lot. And yeah, somebody else will enjoy it a lot more than me for sure. And then last but not least, I have 2 Sephora Pro eyeshadow palettes. One is the New Nudes eyeshadow palette, and these palettes are heavy. I think these are meant for like actual makeup artists because they're huge. Let me take out the plastic here. Come on. Okay. And this is what it looks like. These are brand new. I haven't been swatched. The only thing with this particular palette is this shade right here was shattered when it arrived to me, and I repressed it, so that's why it looks like that. Not because I used it or I swatched it, it's just it came broken and I tried to fix it, and that's why it looks like that. But everything else is just brand new. These colors are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm just getting rid of these because I feel like people would be interested in buying these, and I am after all trying to raise money, so I need to put things that I know people would be interested in and would be willing to like spend the money on if I'm trying to, you know, raise money. And the other one is the Warm. It's just called Warm. And I think these are more like browns, whereas those were a little bit more mauvey. And this is another palette that's huge, and that's what this one looks like. The other one has like the names printed on the packaging. This one is not, doesn't have the names. It has like the plastic sleeve with the names on it. So, but this is what it looks like. Very pretty shades. These palettes are beautiful. So I hope somebody does decide to buy these. And because like I said, these are going, the proceeds for this is going to a good cause. So So there you have it, guys. That's everything that's going to be listed on my Poshmark. I am a Poshmark newbie. I have no idea how it works. I spent the other evening just looking at videos, trying to learn what Poshmark is, how to sell things on Poshmark, you know, the logistics of selling on Poshmark. So hopefully I will be successful. Again, 100% of the proceeds from these items are going towards the Imerman Angels, which is the organization that I'm fundraising money for the Chicago Marathon. If you guys are not interested in any of these items, please consider sharing this video, sharing the link to my Poshmark to your friends, family, on your social media, just so that, you know, these products get out there and somebody finds it and hopefully buys them so that I can get a little bit closer to my fundraising goal. And that's all I have for this. Wish me luck. Pray for me. Hopefully that this is successful. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.